Welcome back, our space fam. This episode sounds like it's getting a juicy quick. The OP named it, I'm at the end of the rope with my wife. Sounds like it's going to be filled with drama. Let's find out. I feel like I have watched her decay in front of me. Either that, or she's always been like this, and I just became more cognizant of it. I thought she had depression. She eventually went to the hospital in 2017 for suicidal tendencies. We got married in 2018, thinking things would be better, but it hasn't gotten better. She will stay on her laptop all day and only get up to use the restroom or have lunch with a friend. She shares the trite self-help posts and drums up support and attention online. All of my friends here know her and knew her first. On the outside, we look happy together. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy spending time with her outside the house. I fell in love with her for a reason. We mesh well intellectually and have a great time together. The logistics of living with her fill me with dread and resentment. She does not help with house cleanliness or chores at all, and either willfully refuses or cannot comprehend putting things into trash cans. She will leave things like trash on the surfaces for months. The bedroom looks like a level 3 hoard. There's no visible floor, and the tallest parts of the refuse are at least at my head point. The rest of the apartment is less bad, but still not good. She tells me that she can't get or to keep a job because of her emotional state, but tells me that the psychiatrist believes her depression is situational, primarily based on her weight, and refuses to prescribe anything for it. She is obese. I am also, even more than she is according to BMI. Her mobility is compromised, and she doesn't seem that concerned about it. That scares the crap out of me. Elias's life plan currently entails at least 13 additional years of not contributing financially. This would be one thing if she was trying to be a doctor, but she's not. She wants to have kids and raise them as a stay-at-home parent for 6 years after getting a 4-year degree and getting her master's after that. Now, I'm not saying a stay-at-home mom doesn't contribute to the health of the family. My wife is not currently contributing now, and we don't have children. Frankly, the proposition of raising children with this woman, given current factors, gives me angina. I already feel like her caretaker. Why would I want to add a child to this? The current situation is that I have finally broken out of menial jobs, but I need to move. A part of this is cleaning out the apartment to get ready to leave. We agreed to have it done by June 1st. That deadline came in wet. I told her that it needed to be done by July 1st at the absolute latest. I reminded her about the deadline every time I brought up to move. She told me to stop nagging her on the 10th, so I did. It's now the 22nd, and she's only taken 3 bags out of the 40 that it most likely needs. And the only reason she did that was because I pissed on our anniversary with how I felt like a pack mule for years. It is 9 days away from the deadline, and I can't take this anymore. I can't keep setting expectations and having them ignored or railroaded. I can't stand watching her care so little about my needs. I know that I should wait until July 1st to be fair to her, but I'm so hurt. I can't keep bearing my soul, working all the time, and maintaining a house for 2 people while I'm going through my own crap. I have a severe mental health condition that I keep in check with medication typically, and my wife told me she needed the money for something that, in hindsight, was ridiculous. That was the beginning of February. It's going to be July in 9 days. The thing that hurts the most is that she says the right things. She knows what to say. She doesn't do any of them more than once. A friend from college has volunteered to take me in while crap hits the fan. I'm scared of what my wife would do if I tried to leave. She talks a lot about her low self-esteem and how I'm the only thing keeping her going. She's been hospitalized before for suicidal thoughts and tendencies. I feel so much guilt, Reddit. I know intellectually that I can't be the one who wants to live enough for the both of us. I can't be the only one working towards progress. I will literally combust if I have to continue doing this. Divorce is ugly as a legal process, but I don't think I can keep going on like this. My wife is behaving like an addict. Maybe she is addicted to the internet or to her social perception. That's for a smarter person than I, with a license, to go figure that out. Sounds like a rough situation. Let's see how the community wants to help out. Anchorsify claims, your wife is calling your bluff. Can you leave without having to clean it up? Will you get hit with a fine or penalty when she doesn't clean it up herself? If yes, and you can't afford to pay the expected cleaning fee that gets passed on to you, then clean it all up. It sucks being her maid, but use it as a form of catharsis. Her laziness, her unhygienic and disrespectful actions will not be your burden to deal with once it's done. But you need to leave. You can't live for her, and that's what she is using you for. Financially, emotionally, she has decided to let herself become completely reliant on you, and that isn't right. Though partly getting married while you know she has mental health issues going on was your own fault. That is something that should really have been worked out prior to marriage, because promising life with someone who doesn't value their own is a hollow promise. You need to leave, and you need to be firm and make it clear you cannot emotionally handle it anymore. She's an adult and needs to learn how to look after herself, how to support herself, and how to respect herself and you enough to not expect you to do everything for her. That can't continue. The OP answers this with, "We got married within 6 months of her hospitalization. At that point, she had gotten some antidepressants and seemed to be on the mend. It was stoked. That quickly dwindled back to her original state after the honeymoon. She hasn't even called the psychiatrist for an appointment or sent an email or anything for a refill. I'm documenting what it looks like before and after I clean it so that it doesn't bite me in the rear. I'm going to try to get my name off the lease if at all possible." Balance the Mirror wanted to add, "Good point. I would try to find out about this on the lease, but I can't imagine it not biting OP if the OP leaves her wife's hoard and wife just gets evicted. I know that I should wait until July 1st to be fair to her, but I'm so hurt. OP, please read what you wrote. To be fair to her? To be fair to her? You are not her parent, maid, therapist, or doctor. You are her wife. She sits on the computer all day, only gets up to use the restroom. Your bedroom is overrun by a hoard that reaches your hip. Absolutely she has mental health problems, but she refuses to attend to them in any way. Save yourself." OP agreed, said, "My friend said the same thing. I wanted to stick to the deadline for my own integrity's sake. She's going to blame everyone else anyway. I acknowledge that. I've been letting my in-laws know that there's trouble in Denmark. She doesn't have a good relationship with them, but what else do I do? When I say to my hip, it needs to be noted that I'm not a small girl either. I'm 5'8". There's parts of the hoard that are almost 3 foot tall. This has become some deranged normal for me, and it took breaking down in front of my friend for me to realize that something was wrong. I've been sleeping on a couch for at least a year now." Balance the Mirror offered some more words of encouragement. "You're doing the right thing. When I read your post, I was like, unless OP is a short person, that's a large hoard. I am short, and my hip. No, none of this matters. Hoarding and you're sleeping on the couch for a year, this is a no. People can never understand what they themselves and other people can normalize. You can get used to so much over time. Physical abuse, partner going for 1 hour to 9 a day, gaming. Gee, my sodomy other is drinking a bit more. It's idiotic what we can pretzel ourselves into thinking is not that bad, or it'll totally get better after XYZ. Amazing are the people that will boot a loved one the second time they don't do dishes or brush their teeth or keep sexing Insta models, refuse to get a job. It's hard. You know the person and love the person and can make 50 million excuses for their hairy teeth, but you know what you know and what you have to do. It simply sucks." And here we go with the update. I wrote here 2 months ago about my relationship with my wife. She was a hoarder and had a litany of other issues that were above my pay grade. I asked Reddit if I should leave by July 1st, and it was unanimous that I absolutely should. I didn't leave July 1st. I left the night of June 30th. The cleaning didn't get done, surprising literally no one. We were driving to our apartment, and I told her that I was really crestfallen about July 1st. "Why? Is that a bad date for you or something?" I was furious, but kept it to myself. I told her how I felt, and I reminded her of my deadline. I told her that I was moving out and that I was done. She cried and cried and cried and begged for a week to clean the apartment to show that she was committed to this marriage. I said that she was free to do it, but I wasn't going to sleep there during that, and I moved in with my friend. We agreed to reassess the condition of the apartment Sunday morning. She told me how spiritually edifying it was to clean. It was really optimistic for a bit. Wednesday comes, and my father-in-law calls me, frantic. He's like a dad to me. He tells me that my wife emailed him, which she never talks to him unless she has to, and I asked why. He told me that she begged him to tell me to come back home. He remarked that it was bizarre, but I was incensed. No, father-in-law, it's not bizarre, it's crappy. She's trying to leverage you through our relationship to get me back. Saturday comes, and she sends me a message on Facebook saying, "You know, it doesn't look as good as I wanted it to physically, but I feel like I've made a lot of progress emotionally, and isn't that what matters?" I told her that such progress would have been appreciated 2 years ago, that I had to walk. I couldn't do it anymore. She spent money online with our card without informing me, on Yarn, and we had a disagreement about it. I told her that I wanted the bank account closed, but she couldn't bear to see me in person. I'd redirected my checks to a new account instead. It had been weeks, and I finally went back to get my things, and it got a lot worse. There was a water leak in the carpet. The litter boxes weren't taken care of since I took care of them the day I left, and she managed to move the microwave into her bedroom. The latter was particularly surprising because she refused to move anything heavier than 10 pounds because of a cited rotator cuff injury for years, and yet got a 40-pound microwave into her room. I reported the conditions to my mother-in-law, who co-signed a lease with us. She called me back to bemoan, "What am I going to do about my daughter? You don't understand how hard it is to have to think about how to take care of her." I snapped at mother-in-law about her nonsense. She asked me what she should do about my ex-wife, feeding her histrionic personality. I told her that I had no idea, but she signed papers 27 years ago that made it her responsibility and not mine. I'm happily living with my friend. Her and I are currently figuring out what we are, but we're being supportive of each other and making each other's lives easier. We both just celebrated birthdays. Happy quarter century, and that was perfect. I've been told to my ex-wife because I had a much more rigid and stoic effect since I left. Mother-in-law told me that she didn't even say she missed me. It'd be nice if she came back. I heard from father-in-law that they're mad that the car is in my name. It was given to me as a graduation present and was an old family car. I start my new job tomorrow. I've been getting ready all last week. I'm so nervous but so excited. I'm really glad I left.